Okay, so we previously talked about area of two-dimensional objects, so flat objects like squares and circles. But now we're going to be looking at surface area and volume. So now we're talking about three-dimensional objects. Um, and so to start us off is section 12.3 in the textbook, which is all about prisms. So a prism is, it looks just like this. So this is a triangular prism. So a prism is just a two-dimensional object, such as in this case a triangle, and we just drag it straight. So the height is going to be uniform. So many of you probably know what a pyramid looks like. So do my best to draw a pyramid. Well, you get the idea, right? A pyramid is a three-dimensional object, like the Great Pyramids of Egypt. But notice how the height goes up diagonally, right? They all slant towards this tip. Same with a cone, like an ice cream cone. They don't just go straight down. That would be a horrible ice cream cone. They curve in, and there is this tip. So those are not prisms. Prisms have this straight height to them, where all the heights stay parallel to each other. So for the surface area, we want to find the area of all of the faces. And the faces are just the flat surfaces. So in this prism here, that's just a rectangle. And this face here, this surface, is a triangle. Um, and then for the volume, we just want to multiply the area of the base, times the height. So that's it for volume. Uh, for a prism. This is only for prisms. When we start looking at cones and cylinders and spheres, the formulas are going to be different. So let's look at some example problems. So here I want to find the surface area of each object. So here we have another triangular prism. So we can see that there are two triangles. This triangle up front and then the one in the back. We have to be careful. So this distance here is going to be the same as this distance here. So this is going to be 4. So the area for the triangle is 1/2 the base, which is 3, times the height plus 4. But there are two triangles. So we are going to add that together. Now I'm going to look at the different rectangular bases. So this first base is 5 by 4. So I'm going to add a 5 times 4. Then I'm going to add this base here. So that's a 5 by this distance, which if this distance is 5, this is 5. So it's actually 5 times 5. And then we have that area in the back, which is this 5 by 3. So this is half of 12, which is 6. So we get 6 plus 6, which is 12. So 12 plus 20 plus 25 plus 15 is going to be equal to 72. And because we're talking about area again, it's yards squared. So surface area means yards squared. Here we have two trapezoids. So this is a trapezoidal prism. So this is the formula for the area of a trapezoid is 1/2 the height, which we can see that height is 2.6, times the sum of the bases. Well, this base is going to be 8. And we're going to add that to 5. And there are two equal bases. So with any prism, like a trapezoidal prism, a triangular prism, the base, so the triangle and the triangular prism, the trapezoid and the trapezoidal prism, those are going to be congruent. So notice these are the same areas. Then I have this top base, which looks like it's going to be 8 times 8. Plus 8 times 8. The side, which is going to be this height, which is 3 times the width, which is 8, so 8 times 3. Plus the other one over here, we can see these little tick marks tell me it's an isosceles trapezoid, so that this must be 3. So we have another 8 times 3. And then finally this top base, which is going to be a 5 times 8. So we have a 2.6 times 13 divided by 2 plus, or times 2. It's going to be 33.8 plus the 8 times 8 plus the 8 times 3 plus another 8 times 3 plus 5 times 8. This is going to be 185.8 kilometers squared, assuming I did my arithmetic correct there. So that's what you have to do for surface area. So there are probably some other formulas. Actually, the textbook goes through some. But really, I think that this is the most effective way, especially if you struggle with the concepts. So you can just think about what are the different faces, what are those areas, and then find each area separately and add them all together. That's it. Now for volume, remember we said for the volume, it's the area of the base times the height. So this is a triangular prism. So the base is the triangle. So the volume is going to be 1/2 the base, which is the base of the base, which is 3, times the height, which is 4. And then we also multiply by the height, not of the base, but the height of the trapezoid, which is 2. So this is going to be, the 2's cancel out, so we actually just get 12 feet cubed. Be careful, because the volume is cubed. For area, it's squared. All units are squared. But for volume, think about what we have. We have feet times feet times feet. Feet times feet times feet is feet cubed to the 3rd power. Over here, this is a rectangular prism. So the nice thing is we can kind of say whatever we want is the base. So I can say this bottom one is the base. So this is going to be a 4 times 6. And then we multiply by the height, which is 9. Because we're multiplying all these in order, it really doesn't matter what I say is the base, what I say is the height. So if I did this top rectangle as the base, I could do 4 times 9, and the height would be 6. So this is 4 times 6 times 9, which is 216 centimeters cubed. Which, what is that, a milliliter? And that's it. So know these formulas. Luckily, all these formulas that we have, we looked at in the last unit, just finding area. So all you have to do is work through those and make sure you take your time and check your work.